I'm Sophia, and I'm here with McKenna. Welcome to our first video podcast of Casting Crusaders. Today we'll be talking with our principal, Mr. Chitty Minor. Welcome to our show, Mr. Minor.
I'm glad to be here, girls.
Mr. Minor, what were you most excited to do when you came back to school this year?
Oh, that's easy. Seeing the kids. We work all summer. Me and Miss Foray and Miss Castay and Miss Charlene, we're all on campus. And it's just something missing where the students are here. So I can tell you the teachers even feel the same way. Can't wait for that first day of school once we get about a week down. So definitely the kids. Yeah.
That's awesome. Is there anything happening this year that we should get excited about, like events or programs?
Well, I think there's a lot to be excited about. Uh, while it doesn't affect you guys directly, the school is in the middle of a capital campaign to raise money for new things here at school, like a pavilion out over the blue top. Uh, we just got our stream accreditation from Procedo, which we're the first school outside of the state of Florida to achieve that. And I can't really say anything right now, but we've got a huge announcement coming at the end of September that has to do with all of our technology and all of the work that you guys do with the iPad. And it's killing me not to say it, but it's going to be a very, very big deal. Yeah.
Mr. Minor, if you were a principal, what other job would you love to have?
Um, uh, uh, well, I wanted to be a sportscaster, so kind of what you guys are doing right here. But I fell in love early on with coaching, and that led me to teaching. But I think I wouldn't mind doing something like sportscasting. I don't like the science. I kind of geek out on weather, so I could see myself doing something with that too. Um, but Uber driver wouldn't be so bad either because you get to talk to people, right? So
Yep.
anyway, those are a few little things. Yep.
How can we as seventh graders be good role models and leaders of faith for the other students?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think our seventh grade class is already doing that, and you guys have always had kind of a legacy of leading and in many different ways, even before you became seventh graders. Uh, but I think the key to leadership, whether you're a seventh grader or you guys are, go on to be student council presidents at your high schools or lead a business one day or be a principal like me, is leadership is not about being in charge. It's about what can you do for the people, that you're in charge of, So I remind you guys all the time that the most privileged students in the whole school are young students in the school. And in the middle school, it's certainly our fifth graders, right? And so when you guys are constantly looking like, how can we make sure that their experience is good, then everything clicks and you feel better about your leadership. The school's better, the school year is better, all of that. And you guys are off to a really great start with that. But I think that's the key to that, is seeing how can you serve, how can you help those younger students.
Miss Renor, what's the funniest thing a student has ever said to you?
You caught me off guard there. I don't know. Funniest days. I don't know. We'll have to come back to that maybe. That's one question you got me with. Yep.
Where's the most important piece of advice you give to the seventh grade class as we start the year?
Well, first, be present every day, right? We started that 3 minutes of silence so you guys could start to learn how to just be present in the moment. Um, that we're taught as a faith, be still and know that I am God, right? And because you want to be present, and I would say soak in every moment that we can. You don't want to miss anything with your classmates. You don't want to miss those little moments of fun, laughter, because you're worried about test grade or whatever. Because it's gonna go by very quickly. And in just a few months, some of you go to the same high schools, but y'all won't stay together. Uh, and y'all have a very special class. So take every day as a gift, as a blessing. And I think you're gonna have a great year. Okay.
Lastly, Mr. Benora, when you're not at school, what are some hobbies or things you enjoy?
Um, well, I love sports. So I'm a big college football fan, and today's the first day of college football season. So I got a little bounce in my step today. Um, love my Saints, love my Pelicans. But I also like, a lot of people don't know, I really like to ride my bikes. I've got a road bike and I've got a mountain bike. It's how I relax. I like to get up early in the morning in the summer and try to ride 10 to 15 miles. And I like to do that on the weekend. Uh, I think that's probably my biggest hobby besides the sports angle. The other thing I love to do is read in the morning. I read a lot on the spiritual life and stuff like that, just trying to understand more about what it means to, be a Catholic, be a Christian. That probably would surprise some people that I like to do. I love hanging out with my family, my wife. We do a lot together, being with friends. A lot of the same things. Doesn't change so much when you get older. It's a lot of the same things that you guys like to do. Uh, I like to.
I can't even ride down the street. I don't know how you do 10 or 15 miles. Yeah.
Well, it's a workout, and that's probably why I do it. But it does allow me to kind of clear my head. You guys know, right? I mean, we can be so connected to our devices if we don't make ourselves get out. And so I usually don't bring my headphones or anything. I just try to. I'm fortunate to live by Lake Pontchartrain, so I'm able to ride along the lake, and just allows me to really a lot of times just kind of get in touch with God and stuff. And, I do all my prayers on that bike, those kinds of things like that. I get a few answers every now and then, so that's pretty cool too. You know.
Before we end, did you think of anything a student has ever passed and said to you?
I did not, and it's killing me because I know uh, I have heard. Yes, I got one. I got one. So I had a student here at St. Matthew one day that came down to my office. He was not in trouble. He was not in trouble, but he had to come to my office. And I would say the student was probably in second grade. Okay. And the student said to me, who walked in and asked me where my bed was. The student thought I actually lived in my office and stayed here, that I existed just for school. Of course, I told the student, well, it does feel like I sleep here sometimes. I do not sleep here. So that was pretty funny. I got another funny story. Okay, now all right, so my first year at St. Matthew, I spent a lot of time at high school. So I wasn't used as much to the little ones. I had two kindergarten students in Mr. Potty's office. And they were in trouble because they got their clip movers. Okay. And they were kind of crying a little bit. And I didn't know enough. So I said, well, what's the best color you could be on? And they said blue. And I said, blue? Well, why don't you just stay on blue? And they both looked at me and said, blue? Like I was crazy, okay? Blue? That's too hard. And that was probably the funniest thing because they were right. It was too hard for them. But you would have thought I was the crazy one because I asked, why don't they stay on blue? And so I asked one of the students, I said, well, have you ever been on blue? And he said, I've been on blue twice, for my birthday and my mama's birthday. And they had Miss Lynn. And so I realized Miss Lynn had given him a gift and put him on blue for his birthday and his mama's birthday. So I still remember that. There was a couple funny stories
That's
there.
probably such a gift to him.
It was a gift to me because I'll still laugh about that to this day. Yeah. So those are a couple of things right there. Yes.
Well, thank you for calling, Mr. Monroe. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Casting Crusaders. See you next time.
See you next time, girls. Very proud of you for all the work you're doing with this. Thank you.